Parenting is an art and a science because it involves the psychological training of a child. That's what parents and teachers do. They're training a child's mind. And this is all the more reason why the field of parenting is a hot topic for researchers. Countless books have been written on the topic of parenting and several seminars and workshops conducted. While we are all part of the modern globalized world, can we still learn about parenting from our ancient Indian wisdom? Yes, and in this matter, Chanakya is a master of child psychology. His method of raising a child is time tested and relevant for every generation. For the first 5 years, love your child unconditionally. For the next 10 years, discipline him. From the 16th year onwards, treat him as a friend. No other person could have summed up parenting in such a beautiful and easy to understand manner. In two lines, Chanakya gives us a frame that parents, especially new parents, can work with. When children are born, they require a lot of love and care. Even the mistakes of a child bring joy because a child doesn't ever intend to make them. Every child is a representation of God. The spark of divinity can be found in everything a child does, the way it plays around, the way it struggles with its new world, how it's constantly trying to make sense of things. So, while raising a child, for the first 5 years you must give it unconditional love and care. Do not expect the child to understand the ways of the world. Instead, you need to understand the ways of the child. The instruction given is to love the child unconditionally. Whatever the child does, accept it as it is. Even if the child breaks the most precious object in the house or hits back at you, love it unconditionally. Accept it with joy. There is nothing you can achieve by beating the child in order to discipline him. The worst child abuse cases happen in this age group. So, family members have to deal with the children in a sensitive manner. Remember, children brought up with love and care will always feel needed and wanted wherever they go. For the next 10 years, the second stage of parenting is for the next 10 years from ages 6 to 15. This is the time to discipline them. Now, the logic of the child has developed. It can think independently. It now has a capacity for reasoning and wants to inquire more. There are various famous books like the Tell Me Why series for children. If you'd like to read more on this topic, so as you're feeding them with information, make sure they also get used to a word called no. Disciplining the child is a very important point of parenting. If a child is not corrected at this phase of life, then it is at the risk of picking up bad behavior that will even be harder to correct later in life. Remember, in this phase of life, the child is growing physically and mentally at super speed. Speed, if not directed properly, can cause accidents. Now, disciplining does not mean beating a child. You can discipline them at a mental level. Create a healthy fear in the mind of the child that prevents it from taking things for granted. After 16 years, when the child becomes a young adult, your parenting role is over. We forget that parenting is a role and not one's identity. The child grows out of its childhood, but parents never grow out of parenting. Remember, we are bringing up human beings. They will be on their own one day. In fact, that is the whole point, to raise strong, independent children who are comfortable leaving you one day and can build their own lives. The end of their dependency will be a success on your part. So, from the 16th year onwards, start considering them as your friends. Now they are on equal terms with you. Both of you should be able to discuss any topic with ease, and you'll find that you can actually learn a lot from them. Your children are not your children, they are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you but not from you, and though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. Thank you for listening.